and I happened to see it out of the corner of my eye, and I thought, what? How can you say that to somebody? Hey guys, I have to make this video. I just had an experience with Big Country Labs, and I feel like I have to share it. I don't feel like these people, or perhaps person even, deserves our money. I don't think that customer service was ever even an intention to. It's something that they didn't even consider in their business model of like, we need to have good customer service. I really feel like this person might have been having a bad day. I really don't know, but I had an awful experience, and from my perspective, I'd like to share it with you, just in case you guys want to purchase anything from Big Country Labs. I feel like this video needs to be online, because it just, I don't know, I don't think that it was avoidable. So, just some backstory really quickly. I own a 370Z, and I absolutely love her to death. I have done a decent amount of stuff to her, and my wife allowed me to get it, and there's been times where I felt like I need to sell it, but she's never let me sell it, and she's supported me in anything that I needed to do to her, because it's I feel like for a lot of us, more than a hobby. There's something in it. There's something there about having a car that you really love. And when you have a vehicle like that, you tend to buy parts from brands that you also love. And I have been looking for a long time, mostly because of financial reasons, that there was a lot of wings out of my price range. There's quite a few that fit the 370Z, but there isn't many that I personally liked. I one day found one which happened to be from Big Country Labs. And if my wife were here to explain to you what happened that night, I was over the moon. I couldn't sleep. It actually got her into it, to be honest. I was showing her for a long time. She's not into all of these mods with cars and things like that, but this one specifically, this wing just looked like what I was doing with my vehicle. And she said, that's going to be the one. So for me, it was sold. I bookmarked it. It's been probably well over a year. I've bookmarked this wing and knew that one day I was going to get this wing, no matter what. It was going to be the one. And unfortunately, because of this experience, I'm probably never going to have it. And it's mostly through choice. So I want to share that with you. I logged into Facebook today, and on the marketplace, I happened to see someone nearby that had this wing. And I honestly couldn't believe it, because there's not many people running this wing. And when I see it, I usually ask them, is it that wing? Because there's several sizes, and I've always wanted to know, is that the size I wanted? Well, this guy was running the size that I would be running. And just for a brief moment, and look, it's a $900 kit before US tax. So while it's still a decent expense, there are a lot of other wings for the 370Z that are debatably similar to a degree. I don't think super close, because this really has its own look to it, in my opinion. That is much more. Like, we're talking maybe $1,500, we're talking maybe $2,500. And I'm sure for all the guys out there that are watching that have cars that they love, you guys know how expensive car parts can be and how expensive wings can be. So this one was $900, and I thought, well, yeah, even right now I can't get it. But this is going to be the one. I happen to find a wing I love. Like, I love this so much. I've bookmarked it this whole time. I continue looking often throughout the year just to see if there's a sale. Maybe I can convince my wife, like, maybe now's the time, you know? And this guy has it on a Subaru WRX. Now, I know that that's not going to fit my vehicle. The trunk that it's on is flat. Obviously, the 370Zs they have a rounded hatch. So it's not going to work. So I was just inquiring to see whether the size he had was the one that I would pick, and it was. And I thought, okay, well, more and more I'm becoming more solidified in the fact that like that's the one I'm going to want to get eventually. And then I was looking at his photos, and he had really good high quality photos. And the more I looked at it, I realized that the whole top of the wing, as in everything but the bottom bracket, can fit on any vehicle, on any car. It's the same wing. You pick the width, you pick the height, you might pick the end plates, but at the end of the day, that can fit on any car. It's the bracket that puts it on your car that has to change. So this is a $900 kit before tax. He's selling this wing for $350. This is a carbon fiber wing for $350, and he's selling it, and it's in pristine condition. It's not the uprights, I think they call them, the pieces that bring the wing up off of the car. They're not the ones that I would have wanted. They have cutouts, and I actually like the one without the cutouts. But I said to my wife, I said, please, if I can somehow get these brackets, can we please pull the trigger and get this? I'm probably never going to be able to get this wing otherwise. Like, I just don't know how we'll ever get to a situation where I'm like, all right, let's drop $900 on this thing, because it's really, let's be honest, it's really just aesthetic. So she said, listen, babe, you know what? It's what you love. It's an insane deal. If you can get the brackets, we'll do it. What are the brackets going to be? $100, even $200. I don't care. I'm still saving a ton of money, and it's an awesome product, something I absolutely love, and I've been looking at for a really long time. There's that and a bumper. I'm sold on them. I was never going to change on them. So I decided to reach out to Big Country Labs. And, this is a brand. This isn't like someone selling custom taillights on Instagram. They represent themselves, and they're doing, like, one-off things. Like, this is a brand. So I figured I would message them on some kind of social media because, it'll be quicker if I email them. I didn't want to muck the guy around on Facebook. He's got it for a Subaru. I don't have a Subaru, so, I'm looking at it. The bracket. I went into this conversation really thinking, like, there's just no way they wouldn't sell these brackets. They have brackets online on their website. Some of them universal. There is one that's, like, curved, and weirdly, when you click on it, it says specifically for the RX-7, but fits other cars, but doesn't specify what other cars. I do think, though, some of the pictures that they used, there was a space underneath the bracket, and I just have a feeling that maybe that person used those brackets. So I'm still not 100% convinced, like, maybe this is something I can't do, but I really don't want to actually give these people my business. I really just don't think they deserve it. It's honestly awful to even say, to be honest. I don't like that, but it's just really how they conducted themselves. So I found that their Twitter did not have open DMs, which is okay. And I thought, well, maybe I'll check their Instagram. A lot of people have Instagram messages turned on. I'll go there and follow them, and I followed them, and the message was there, and I thought, okay, great. So I'll message them there. And I'm not going to filter any of these because I really want to show both sides of the story. Looking back at my own messages, I was fueled with excitement, and so I think that I probably could have gone about a few things a little different, but I do feel that for the most part, I was very respectful. I don't like disrespect. I'm not really an angry person. I don't get angry. Really, the only thing that ever triggers me is if someone's being really disrespectful. I don't know what it is, but just be a decent human being. Treat other people how you wish to be treated. I guess that was how I was raised. So I feel like I'm not talking to a brand. I feel like I'm having some kind of interaction with someone who's like selling feet pics or something. I don't. It sounds so personal, and I feel like they get defensive, and I really don't understand it. So I'm gonna be showing both sides, and if it comes back on me, that's okay. We make mistakes, and I can see that there's ways I could have gone about some things differently. But I just feel as a company, as someone who sells to the masses, this is not a singular person. This is not someone on Instagram selling custom taillights, right? This is someone who represents something bigger. So I message them and I say, do you guys sell 370Z bottom brackets for the GT wings? I've got a guy selling one with a Subi really cheap, but the Subi's trunk is flat and the 370Z's is rounded. And I doubt that the rounded bracket on your website will work correctly. It's very curved, almost like a 90-degree curve, and the 370Z doesn't curve like that. Which bracket comes in the kit? I was thinking maybe I wasn't even seeing it on the website correctly, so I thought I'll just check which bracket it comes with, because maybe it is on the website and I don't know. And they said, no, we don't sell 370Z brackets separately. Which is not necessarily a harsh response, but it isn't what I was expecting, because it's like DMing Apple and being like, hey, so I have this issue, I was wondering if you can help me out, and they're like, yeah, we don't help like that. Sorry, bro. It just seemed unprofessional. There was just some weird vibes about it. I thought, okay, well, I'm just really gonna double check that there's no possible way that we can do this, you know? I said, would I be able to make a special order? We're talking a $900 wing that I wouldn't be able to get for I don't even know how long, but the guy's selling for $350 and my wife's giving me the go-ahead at that price. At $900, I mean, I remember this really was the wing I showed my wife and she really got into it. This was the one that we really loved. So even at $900, I knew one day I was going to get it. I'm not sure if I'm repeating something, guys, by the way, because it took me a little while to get my camera back up and going, so I'm sorry if I've repeated something in the first few minutes of the video. But, you know, $900, wings are really expensive, so $900 really wasn't that bad, but I knew that I couldn't really just drop $900 right off the bat. So seeing this $350 wing that's in really good condition, and I'm like, it's one little tiny fabricated piece of metal. Like, I technically could go and get it fabricated. You know, I could go and do that. It's not quite off the table yet, because I'm still in denial about, like, surely I can make this work. It still has value. It's a good product, you know? It just wouldn't be black powder coated, but I guess I would probably have to wrap it, because I do wrap cars. So, they said, no special orders, just how we do it. We've never had the 370Z brackets for separate sale, ever. So now I'm getting these, like, weird vibes. I'm like, I'm not sure what's going on here. I feel like I haven't said anything to really upset someone, but even if I did, you're a brand and you're supposed to handle it a specific way, because you're not representing John Smith. You're not John Smith working for this company. I have no idea who's behind his messages. You're representing this larger brand that I would ultimately go and tell everyone, this wing's the absolute greatest. More of you guys should be running it. There's not many people running this wing, and I think that it's absolutely gorgeous. So, anyway, I said, that's really disappointing to hear. I was going to need to buy FD... Oh, so just to clarify, when I said to my wife what they were saying, and it was very abrupt and, like, I don't know, short, her initial thought was my initial thought, which was they're thinking, no, bro, I sell them for $900. If you don't want it, too bad. Buy the $900 kit. I'm making my money. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. So I thought that perhaps what was happening was he's missing out on money, which, by the way, if you run a business, don't ever think like this. If a customer has an opportunity like this, where they can buy something used, but they need something from you to make it happen, you absolutely should not be looking at them like a cash cow and saying, no, because if I don't help you, you're going to come back to me anyway, and I'm going to get way more money. Immediately, you're not going to make any money from that person. That's just not how you view customers. At the end of this, I don't want to give this person my money anymore. It's an awesome product. I may have to look at a different wing. I'm not going to give this person money. They just don't deserve it. I don't understand. So I thought, well, what's happening is perhaps they're thinking, I'm not making any money out of this, so I'm not going to help. So I thought, well, I'll explain that there's other little bits and pieces that I need from them. So maybe that will make up for the fact that, no, there's like a little more there. So I said, that's really disappointing to hear. I was going to need to buy the FD uprights and the sharp spiky side pieces, the pieces that go on the side of it, and the hardware kit. I would have been singing your praises to the entire Z community that you guys were an awesome company and had it all figured out, but the one wing I was never going to afford. That's something I probably question. I probably shouldn't have said that I was never going to afford. It's possible, but is there a chance that in the future, even a year from now, 2 years from now, maybe I could have made it happen? Maybe. But I was just so excited and disappointed that we couldn't do it. It didn't make any sense. I was never going to afford, and have always been excited to see one. I've been excited to see. I've always seen it on other people's cars right in front of me. And here it is right in front of me. And a small fabricated piece of metal is all that's stopping me, and I can't purchase them. That's incredibly disappointing. I wish I could have put this on my Z. It would have completed my build, and all of my fans would finally see that the vision that I had. But I guess I'll have to stay wingless for a while. So I have several Instagram accounts. Unfortunately, I didn't message this person from the Instagram account that I run with my 370Z on it, because I actually can't. I'm not sure if I said in this video or it was cut out, but I have several businesses, and they obviously all have different accounts. So I've messaged from a different one, and that's the thing is, I would have loved to have told everyone about this. Like, I've obviously said it in many times throughout this video. I said I would really appreciate you guys reconsidering in the future. It's small things like this that speak volumes about the brands we support. I've got a decal of every major brand on my Z because I'm proud of who I've bought my parts off of. I would have loved to rep you guys because your wing is personally the best. And that's true. You know, I have parts from all sorts of different brands, which, by the way, the Z-Speed Stage 2 clutch is hands down easily the best. Like, it's so good. I'm so happy to tell everyone that that's the one I went with. I have Z-Speed on the car. This is my dream wing. I would have had their logo on there too, and I would have told everybody. So I'm just so disappointed that it doesn't make any sense. And I've always had the same vision from the beginning of exactly how I would have had and will have my Z. There's one bumper, which is the Fuji bumper from Fly One, or there's a couple other places. There was a specific hood that Fly One also does, and then there was this wing. They're really the only missing pieces to the build, and finally everyone would have been able to see my vision from the very beginning. I always knew what it was going to look like when I bought her, completely stock. So that's what that message was about. They said, my guy, if you want the kit that fits on your car, you can buy it. But piecing together a used one and not having the correct parts, etc., plus changing the uprights and end plates, you're basically at a new price. Sorry, not sorry. What brand do you know that says sorry, not sorry to a customer? It was at this point, I'm like, okay, the vibes, the non-professional vibes I've been getting have solidified. You don't say that. You're literally taking... So we're talking about a $900 before tax wing with delivery. I'm talking about a $350 wing in great condition. I'm not having to pay tax. I'm not having to pay shipping. I could do a bracket. And dude, listen, you run a business. I'm all about you making money, my friend. I totally get it. You're the one that has the stuff, and you're the one providing us that product, especially if it's a good product. Make your money, man. If the bracket's $100, or even if it was $200, I still would have purchased it. You know, I'm still saving hundreds of dollars. But that message, because you think I'm going to be at the same price, which you really quick math, you haven't really thought about it. You're not allowing me to make that choice anyway. That's my choice to be able to make. If I want to buy a used one and make it work, then I should be able to. It's not really up to you to be like, yeah, so you'll basically be doing this. So like, I'm not helping you out. We're not going to do that. That's a dumb decision, you know, in my opinion. You just don't look at someone like that who's going to be a customer. I don't understand how this experience is going down, and I'm going to walk away feeling okay about this. I don't know. He said, if you're going to talk bad about us because you can't get something we simply have never sold separately, that's not nice. And if you can't afford it up front, we have a firm available. My wife actually brought up a really good point. What happens if I purchased this $900 kit, and when installing it on my car, I somehow break a bracket? Are you telling me there's no way that I'm going to be able to get this bracket? So if I contacted you and I said, hey man, I'm so sorry, just got this kit, I've broken this bracket, you know, how can we get one of these to replace it? You're telling me that you're going to respond to this customer who did buy the wing, and you're going to say, nah man, sorry, that's not how we do business. If you want the bracket, you're going to have to buy the wing again for $900. I don't understand. And he's assuming from my message that because I would have gone and I would have been singing their praises, he's assuming that I'm now going to go and talk bad about them, which obviously I'm making this video. But at this point, that's not where we were yet. So he's assuming that. And I said, where is it? That's right. So I'm talking about the whole, like, I would be at the price of just buying a new one. I said I'm not, because the entire kit far exceeds the price of me just buying the small pieces that I want to change out for his. He has uprights and the side pieces. I just prefer other ones. I can buy those pieces at a later date if need be, and I don't take a huge hit for a kit I wouldn't normally have to pay for. You guys make good products, but I really should have said great, because I've looked at their stuff and I think that they're really good. This guy's wing isn't worthless now. Because he can't get brackets to anyone who wants to buy it. So I'm trying to explain, like, if this man wanted to sell his wing, but he can't sell it to someone because they can't get brackets, that wing's worthless now. Really, at the end of the day, unless it's the exact same car, which could happen. I'm uncertain if he still has the brackets, because in the photos, the brackets weren't in the photos, so I don't actually know if he has the brackets to the WRX. Let's assume that he does. But literally anybody else, it's the same wing. It's just a bracket. So it doesn't walk out the door when you sell this wing and then immediately become worthless, and if anyone else wants to buy one, they have to come to you for it. That product that just walked out your door still exists out there and still has value. It's literally 2 pieces of fabricated metal that stops someone from being able to reuse it, because the rest of it, it's carbon fiber, man. Like, this has value. This is a really good product. I said, oh, that's right. And prior to messaging him, I did actually start an email, and I sent that through. And then we got into this conversation. He said, I'm just getting an email from you about this now also. I said I'd sent that before I started searching social media for instant messaging. It's worthless now. Wow, okay. I don't understand. Because my message says it isn't worthless. So he's like, wow, it's worthless now, okay, anyway, have a good day. So I said, you've misread my message. I feel I've been super respectful with my questions, and what I feel I'm receiving back is very condescending and unprofessional. I don't really know what to say. I didn't expect a brand that sold awesome products like you do to address customers like this. I wish this didn't have to be this way. And then they completely dismissed me and said, I'm not reading your long-winded messages. This is not really a long-winded message. If this was an email, this is at best a couple of sentences. We're looking at this on a tiny screen in instant messaging that also removes a quarter of the screen so that you can easily read who's messaging what. So that's really, I can't believe you're going to talk to a customer about this. And then, by the way, not to mention earlier on saying, if you're going to go and badmouth us, that's not very nice. How am I going to walk away from this experience thus far and not feel like I need to tell somebody, like, you wouldn't believe the experience that I had with this company? They said, you're being condescending. I said, I don't think I've spoken down to you once. I said we don't sell it. Since then, you've gone off about how dissatisfied you are now, etc. I said, you've been incredibly defensive when all I've asked is why something you guys sell isn't sold under other conditions. He said, defensive, I don't think so. I said, it exists with or without the kit. Providing those pieces in that way brings so much more value to customers, and therefore we can't help but love the brand. He said, listen, Miles, you can run your brand your way. We help customers as much as we can, but if you're buying used, sometimes you just get caught out. I'm not being caught out. There is a product that's perfectly usable, in perfect condition. These two pieces are all that I need. I'm not getting caught out. You're simply disallowing anybody to use a used wing unless it's only for that one vehicle, which if the years differ and the body changes, then there's a different version to it. Only those people. And then it's a wing, so most people, if it's used, aren't going to ship it. So now you're only limiting them to the area they live in as well. I just couldn't believe it. So while he just said that, I'm typing this message out. I said, I'm really in shock with how you've chosen to respond. You're the face of a brand, and you're speaking like someone who's being personally attacked. I'm sorry for wasting your time. I'm no longer wanting your products. I no longer want your products. I'm quite popular and involved in the Z scene, and if I see people asking about your products, I'll be sure not to send them your way. I can't have this conversation, and then if I see a thread of someone on one of the groups saying, guys, I'm thinking about this wing, what do you guys think? To scroll past that and not tell them, well, their customer service is non-existent, so I really hope you don't have any problems with it, and not tell them ahead of time in case it saves them hundreds or possibly to $1,000, I couldn't do that. So they said, lol, okay. And my response to, I'm sure you do, was when they said, we help out customers as much as we can. He said, see you, buddy. I said, have a nice day. And then, the okay sign. I just really unprofessional. I do want to point out that I closed my Instagram. My Instagram notifications are hooked up to my PC. So Instagram's on my left monitor. I've closed that out because I just thought, okay, I don't want to talk with him anymore. He's obviously getting really heated and upset. There's no point now. It's just, you'd be moving on with the conversation for no reason. So just let it go. So I let it go and I closed it. And then in the bottom right of my screen where a notification pops up, I unfortunately have no way to prove this. I was hoping that my phone notifications or my PC notifications would save it. But he wrote, so I'm assuming he went to this Instagram page, and he said, it was a little while ago now, so I'm going to try to paraphrase it, I guess. It was something like, lol, yeah, you look like you're really popular in the car scene, lol. It was something very close to that. And I happened to see it out of the corner of my eye, and I thought, what? How can you say that to somebody? And as I've gone to look at it, and I've clicked on it, it's brought up the page, and then it was deleted. Which is very smart, because I absolutely would have screenshot it and put it in this video and told everybody, like, this was the last hurrah for them. The last, like, I'll get you back, buddy. Oh yeah, you've got a real good following over here. It's not even the correct Instagram account. Excuse me. But he decided to delete it because of how bad that would look on the brand, which goes to show he knew that was going to really come back on his brand, and so he deleted it. How can you talk to someone like that? So I really want this wing, and so I thought, well, I will tell this guy on Facebook, look, if you're going to sell the wing, just make sure you sell it to someone who has the Subaru that you have, because I've just had a conversation with the people with the brackets about whether or not they do that, and it was just incredibly rude and disrespectful conversation that you don't want to send someone to them to be like, oh, we'll see if you can get the brackets, and then they have to go through that and realize. So I figured, I'd tell him and say, just make sure you sell it to someone with the Subaru. And so I'm a little disappointed because that wing, I'm sure I've had it saved for over a year. I mean, I remember the conversation vividly with my wife that was the one I had been searching for probably 6 months at so many different ones, and I went through every single type that you could, like duckbills, everything. I was looking at all of them and how I really wanted it to come out. None of them quite fit what I wanted it to look like. And then I went on Google Images and just typed in 370Z wing and just thought, somewhere, if it exists, it'll be on this page eventually. And I had to scroll for ages. And I saw this wing, and I went, that's the one. I really hope this isn't really expensive. And I clicked on it, and when I saw $900, I lost it. I showed my wife. I'm like, babe, we've been looking at all of these ones that were, like $1,500 to $2,500. A couple of them were like $5,000, and I went, this is $900. One day, a long time from now, this is gonna be it. And I've been excited ever since. I've checked the page constantly throughout the year to make sure is there a sale that's happening on it. And the bumper as well. I've been checking on those too. But now I feel like I just can't give this person my money because the whole idea was you'll come to me either way because I only sell this kit, no one else does, and you're going to pay full price for it. I'm not going to help you in trying to save money. If that's how you're going to go about your business practice, man, I don't even know how you're going to like grow as a business because customers are going to see that. Like, there's so many people that aren't dumb. They're going to come to you and realize, wow, you're really just trying to milk us. Obviously, you have different examples like Apple, which you'll always get people who are happy to be milked by companies like that because, it's a very specific thing going on there. But I don't understand. You're not going to be able to talk to someone like that and then be like, you'll come back, buddy. You'll come back. I'm not going to come back. You still would have made money off of me buying all of these other pieces and having them shipped out to me. Now you get none. And not only would you have made that money, and it was very clear that it wasn't like an Alta. It wasn't like I had only stated, well, I go tell everyone that you had really good products. It was very clear in my message that I'm proud of the products that I buy, and I have been excited for this product for a long time. So the amount of people who would have told that your business was awesome would have equated to more money. And that's how word of mouth in business works. Like, you want word of mouth. You don't want bad word of mouth. If you have a good experience with a company, that person might go around and tell 50 people. If it was really good, right? Maybe they go and tell 5. The number's really irrelevant. The difference is, if you have a bad experience with that company, you're not going to go around and tell 5 or 50 people. You're going to tell 500 people. You're going to really make sure that people know that the experience they had, no one should have to go through. And now, unfortunately, I'm not going to give you my money, which sucks because it really is the wing that I want. And I'm still looking at this guy's wing thinking, how can I make this happen? Maybe I do try to I try to go to a fabricator and get it made up and still buy it anyway. I don't know. It's just crap that's what you're being forced into, because I wasn't asking for anything custom. it's a product that already exists and is sitting in your shelf that you already ship out. It just ships out with other products. You don't have to ship that with all of the other products unless you decide to, and you decided to because you want that person to come back and spend all of their money, not just a little bit, and you let it be known that that's why. So guys, Big Country Labs, that really sucks. I really hope that's not the person who's running the business. I really hope that's someone who is managing their social or their I mean, I wish it wasn't who was managing their customer service experience, because clearly they don't do a good job of it. But I hope that that's all it is, and perhaps in the future that person's removed and the person who owns the business, who is being affected by this person's actions, no longer is being affected by it. But if that's the business owner, that really sucks, you know? Street Arrow, Battle Arrow, these guys, I've really enjoyed working with those guys, and it's a similar feel to this business in terms of size. But this, they go about it completely different. This person doesn't deserve business because of the way that they view the people that's coming to them, because you aren't a person. You are a dollar sign, and if that dollar sign is not large enough, you don't have any value to them. They won't even look your way. So guys, rethink buying from Big Country Labs. If something goes wrong, you just don't have the customer experience that you really need to have to sort any problems out. So look, I had to make this video. If the messages that were sent fall back on me, that's okay. But if I put this video out and even a portion of what I was feeling is correct, and I do save some people from going and giving this person money and going through the same experience, if I can save one person from doing that, this video was completely worth it. It took 30 minutes out of my time. I'll edit it and put it up, and I'll just leave it there to be on the internet, and whoever gets to see it, whoever you guys are that are watching it, I appreciate you guys watching it. It had to happen. People have to know when shitty people treat other people in a shitty way. I hope that guy was maybe just having a bad day, but he lost business, and I wish that wasn't the case. So, thank you guys for watching, and really support the brands that you really believe in, the ones that really treat you right and are willing to go the extra mile for you, because you will be willing to go the extra mile for them. Alright. Peace!